The scream shattered the silence of the old house, piercing like a knife through darkness. Emily whispered, "Did you hear that?" Her hands trembled as she clutched the flashlight tighter, shadows dancing across peeling wallpaper. Her younger brother Daniel said, "It came from upstairs, didn't it?" His voice cracked, the fear clear beneath his forced courage. The hall seemed to breathe, each creak louder than the last. Emily felt her heart pound, every beat echoing inside her skull as she whispered, "We shouldn't be here." The stench of damp wood filled the air, and somewhere in the distance, something dragged slowly across the floor. Daniel tried to step forward, but his foot hesitated mid-air. He muttered, "What if it's Mom's voice?" The words hung heavy, impossible and cruel, because their mother was long gone. Emily's breath caught. A door upstairs slammed shut on its own, rattling the glass. Emily said, "We have to go back," but her body refused to turn. Fear rooted her to the spot, as if unseen fingers curled tightly around her spine. The flashlight flickered. Daniel said, "It doesn't want us here." Emily's eyes widened as she felt something brush her arm. She spun, but nothing was there. A faint, childlike giggle echoed from the staircase. Emily's breath shuddered as silence followed the giggle, pressing heavy on her chest. Daniel whispered. It sounded like a child. His voice cracked, fragile like glass. She shook her head, whispering, "No child is here." The hallway seemed longer now. Shadows stretched unnaturally, as though alive. Emily forced herself to step forward, but the boards beneath her feet groaned like cries. Daniel whispered, "I don't like this place." His words echoed, bouncing unnaturally from walls. The air chilled suddenly, and their breath hung as mist. Emily muttered, "It's too cold." Her eyes scanned every corner. Daniel asked, "Why would anyone stay here?" She whispered, "Because something won't let them leave." A picture frame fell from the wall with a crash, glass shattering across floor. Daniel yelped, "It's angry." Emily's heart slammed in her chest. She whispered, "Stay close." Her voice shook, betraying her own terror. They knelt by broken frame. Inside, a faded photo of a young girl with hollow eyes stared back. Emily muttered, "She looks like you." Daniel's lips quivered. He whispered, "She's dead." The photo bled shadow, black stains creeping across paper. Emily yanked her hand away as if burned, whispering, "It doesn't want us to see." Daniel cried, "Then why show us?" The walls moaned, plaster cracking. Emily whispered, "It's warning us." Daniel shook his head violently. "No, it wants us gone." He clutched his chest as though the air crushed him. The house groaned, a deep growl rolling through beams and walls. A window cracked, wind slicing through as curtains whipped violently. Emily's hair blew into her face as she gasped, "It's alive!" Daniel shouted, "Then why doesn't it kill us?" His voice cracked, full of fear. The lights flickered once more, then died. Emily held Daniel's hand, pulling him close. She whispered, "Because it wants to play first." His knees buckled, and tears brimmed in his eyes. Thunder rolled above the house, rattling window frames. Daniel whimpered, "We have to leave now." Emily's voice broke, "The door won't open." She had tried before, handle refusing to budge. The sound of footsteps echoed above them, slow and deliberate, descending the stairs one by one. Emily whispered, "It's coming." Her throat tightened as she clutched Daniel's arm. The air grew heavier, pressing like stone on their chests. Daniel gasped, "I can't breathe." Emily's flashlight flickered again. A shadow stretched across the wall, tall and looming, reaching toward them. The hallway groaned under their hesitant steps, each sound magnified in silence. Emily whispered, "It's watching us." Daniel clung to her sleeve. He muttered, "Why can't we just leave?" His words quivered as shadows twisted like hands reaching. From the corner of her eye, Emily saw the cracked mirror ripple as though water touched its surface. She froze, pointing the flashlight toward it. Daniel whispered, "It's moving." The mirror reflected them, but their faces were wrong. Emily gasped. That's not us. Their reflections grinned, wide and grotesque, teeth too sharp, eyes too hollow. The flashlight beam flickered again, casting erratic beams over their twisted doubles. Daniel stumbled back, whispering, "Make it stop." Emily grabbed him, pulling him close, but the mirror rattled violently, as though something trapped inside begged to escape. She shouted, "Don't look at it." The glass cracked. The mirror exploded, shards scattering like knives. Daniel screamed, "It's out!" Emily shielded his face, glass slicing across her arm. She hissed, "Keep moving." Her voice shook as blood dripped onto the wood floor. The house moaned deeper, beams creaking as if bending under invisible weight. Emily panted, "It's angry." Daniel whimpered, "What did we do?" The air vibrated like a growl surrounding them. Suddenly, the photo of the ghost girl reappeared at their feet, untouched by glass. Emily gasped, "It wants us to see her." Daniel whispered, "She's following us?" His voice was hollow, resigned. Emily whispered, "It's trying to guide us." Daniel snapped, "No, it wants us dead." His voice cracked into a sob. The floorboards buckled beneath them, splitting open slightly as dust rained from ceiling. A whisper circled the room, childlike but distorted. "Stay with me," Emily gasped, spinning in place. Daniel clutched her waist, trembling. Emily said, "It's not her voice. Something's using her." Her words cut into heavy air. The whisper turned into giggles, bouncing across walls, growing louder until deafening. Daniel covered his ears. He screamed, "Make it stop." Emily pulled him close, whispering desperately, "We can't let it know we're afraid." The house grew colder, their breath white in air. Emily muttered, "It's testing us." Daniel shook his head violently. "I don't care, I want out." He clawed at the front door, pulling handle, but it remained locked. Emily pressed against the door too, her palms slick with sweat. "It won't open," she whispered, her throat raw. Daniel shouted, "Why not?" A deep thud echoed, as though something massive slammed down from upstairs. The ceiling cracked further, dust falling. Emily gasped, "It's above us." Daniel's lips quivered as he whispered, "Then it knows where we are." A cold handprint appeared on the door beside his face. The sound of laughter drifted again, closer now, circling them like a predator. Emily whispered, "It doesn't want us to leave alive." Daniel whimpered, "We're trapped." His small fists pounded weakly on the wood. Suddenly, the temperature dropped so sharply that ice formed along door edges. Emily yanked Daniel back as frost raced across walls. "It's sealing us in," she gasped. Daniel cried, "It wants to freeze us." His teeth chattered. The whisper grew into a hiss. "Stay." Emily clutched Daniel's shoulders. "We won't give in." Her voice wavered, betraying fear. Above them, footsteps pounded closer, slow and deliberate, descending the staircase. Daniel whispered, "It's coming down." Emily held him tightly, whispering, "We must face it." Her voice trembled, though her body stood firm. The air thickened, pressing down like a weight on their lungs. A figure emerged in flickering light, a girl, pale, eyes dark voids, lips bloodless. Daniel whimpered, "That's her." Emily whispered, "No, that's not her." The figure tilted its head, expressionless, then giggled hollowly. Emily forced herself forward, her hand trembling. "What do you want from us?" she demanded. The ghost girl whispered, "Stay." Her voice cracked into a shriek, rattling windows. Daniel clung tighter, his nails digging into Emily's arm. "She's not real," he whimpered. Emily whispered, "Then why can we hear her?" The ghost tilted her head, her eyes leaking black tears. Emily stepped forward cautiously, asking, "Why us?" The ghost's lips moved slowly, whispering, "Because you're mine." Daniel screamed, "No." His voice cracked through air like broken glass. The walls shook, plaster splitting further. Emily said, "She's not asking, Daniel, she's claiming." A chilling wind swept down corridor, extinguishing what little light remained. Daniel's scream cut short as he was yanked a step forward by unseen force. Emily shrieked, "Let him go!" She pulled his arm back with desperate strength. The ghost girl giggled, tilting her head as though amused. The air pressed harder, suffocating. Emily gasped. "It wants to take him." Daniel's body lifted slightly, his feet scraping wood floor. He sobbed, "Help me." Emily pulled harder, veins straining in her arms. The ghost whispered, "He belongs with me." Emily screamed, "No!" The force released, throwing Daniel into her chest. They collapsed against wall, gasping for air. Emily's chest heaved as she pushed Daniel behind her. "Stay back," she ordered. Daniel whimpered, "I can't fight her." His tears streamed freely. Emily glared at the figure. "You'll have to go through me." The ghost stepped closer, her feet not touching ground. Each movement twisted unnaturally, like broken bones snapping. Daniel gagged, covering his mouth. Emily whispered, "She's not human." The words were heavy, final. The ghost whispered, "Then neither are you." Emily's breath froze, eyes wide, fear cutting into her soul. Emily stammered, "What do you mean?" The ghost's grin widened, revealing black teeth. "You're tied here, just like me." Daniel whimpered, "She's lying." Emily shook her head slowly, unsure. A sudden chill seeped into her bones, memories flashing, her mother's death, the secrets of this house. She whispered, "No." The ghost laughed, hollow and echoing, "Yes, you've always belonged." Daniel sobbed, "Don't listen." Emily clutched his hand tightly, but doubt burned in her eyes. The house seemed to breathe, as if confirming the ghost's words. The silence after the ghost's words weighed heavily, pressing on Emily's chest. Daniel clutched her sleeve, whispering, "She's lying, right?" Emily's lips trembled, unable to form a confident answer. Her doubt hung thick in the freezing air. A gust of cold wind surged down the corridor, sweeping past them as the lights flickered. Emily muttered, "It's toying with us." Daniel whispered, "Why us?" His voice cracked like glass. Emily said, "Because we're still here." The floor beneath their feet groaned as if shifting under some unseen weight. Dust drifted down like snow, settling on their hair. Emily hissed, "It doesn't want us to know the truth." Daniel whimpered, "Then why is it showing us?" The walls pulsed faintly, shadows stretching unnaturally. Emily swallowed hard, whispering, "Because it feeds on our fear." Daniel's eyes brimmed with tears as he whispered, "Then it's winning." A sudden bang echoed above, shaking the ceiling beams. Emily gasped, "It's moving again." Daniel shouted, "We can't fight it!" His body trembled violently as he backed against the wall. Emily snapped, "We don't get to give up." The shadow stretched across the ceiling, growing longer, darker, until it reached the floor. Daniel's voice cracked, "It's everywhere." Emily raised the flashlight, beam cutting through the mist. "We can't let it consume us," she whispered. The light flickered against the dark, but instead of dispersing, the shadow twisted into claw-like shapes. Emily hissed, "Keep your eyes on me." Daniel nodded shakily, his small fists clenched despite his fear. The sound of whispering voices circled them, layered and distorted, some childlike, others deep and guttural. Daniel cried, "They're all around us." Emily tightened her grip on his arm, whispering, "We're still alive. That's what it hates." Emily steadied her breath, whispering, "We have to know what it wants." Daniel whimpered, "I don't want to know." His eyes darted wildly, searching for escape. Emily shook her head. "If we don't, it won't stop." The whispering voices grew sharper, forming words. "Yours, mine, forever." Daniel covered his ears, crying, "It won't shut up." Emily squeezed his hand tightly, whispering, "Stay with me. I won't let it take you." A sharp crack splintered the floorboards at their feet. Black liquid seeped upward, writhing like living ink. Emily pulled Daniel back, whispering, "It's breaking through." Daniel sobbed, "We'll drown in it." His words shook as much as his body. The liquid hissed as though alive, forming small shapes that resembled hands clawing from beneath the floor. Emily whispered, "It wants us buried here." Emily dragged Daniel back as the liquid spread faster, covering the boards. Daniel cried, "We're trapped!" Emily's chest heaved, whispering, "No, there's still a way." Her eyes darted toward the staircase looming nearby. The steps creaked under invisible pressure, each one groaning louder than the last. Emily whispered, "It's trying to cut us off." Daniel clung tighter to her arm. "Then we're doomed." She shook her head, her jaw set firm. The shadows stretched downward, slithering onto the staircase like thick smoke. Emily hissed, "We move now." Daniel whimpered, "I can't." Emily snapped, "You can, you're stronger than it thinks." The sound of laughter echoed, sharp and mocking. Emily whispered, "Ignore it. We have to reach the top before it does." Daniel nodded faintly, his face pale but his grip unyielding. They raced up the stairs, each step groaning under their frantic weight. Daniel gasped, "It's following." Emily panted, "Don't stop." Her lungs burned, her legs heavy, but adrenaline drove her forward. The shadows surged upward after them, climbing faster than humanly possible. Daniel's foot slipped, his scream echoing. Emily yanked him up, shouting, "I've got you!" The force of the pull nearly toppled her backward. At the landing, a door slammed shut on its own, locking them in darkness. Daniel whispered, "We're trapped again." Emily slammed the flashlight beam forward, illuminating a small attic door. She gasped, "That's where it wants us?" Daniel whispered, "Then why go in?" Emily's jaw tightened. "Because it's hiding something." The shadow roared behind them, shaking walls. Emily shouted, "Move!" She shoved the door open. Emily shoved the attic door open, coughing as dust swirled like smoke. Daniel clung to her arm, whispering, "It doesn't want us in here." His eyes darted toward the rafters, where shadows writhed like snakes. A single lantern flickered in the corner, though no one had lit it. Emily muttered, "It's showing us something." Daniel hissed, "Or trapping us again." His teeth chattered, though the air felt hotter here. On the floor lay a torn diary, its leather warped by age. Emily knelt, whispering, "This is it." Daniel whimpered, "Don't read it." Emily shook her head, her hands trembling as she opened it. Inside, faded ink bled across the pages, describing rituals, curses, and sacrifices bound to the house. Emily's voice broke, "This is a record of deaths." Daniel gasped, "Then we're next." Emily read aloud, "Bound by blood, tied to walls, silence never ends." Her throat tightened. Daniel cried, "Stop, don't read it." The lantern flickered violently, shadows dancing like figures circling them. A sudden slam shook the attic door shut behind them. Daniel screamed, "It locked us in." Emily pulled him closer, whispering, "It's testing us. It doesn't want us to know." The diary's ink began to drip like fresh blood, staining her hands. Emily gasped, "It's alive." Daniel sobbed, "Throw it away." Emily clutched it tighter, whispering, "No, this is the truth. It's the only way out." The pages flipped on their own, stopping at a sketch of the ghost girl. Emily whispered, "She was the first." Daniel shook his head, whispering, "She won't let us leave." The attic groaned as if breathing, walls closing in tighter. Daniel whimpered, "It's crushing us." Emily forced her voice steady. "No, it's showing us what it's done." She turned the page, revealing a list of names. Daniel leaned over, trembling. "Those are people." Emily whispered, "Victims." Her hand hovered over the last name, smudged but faintly readable. She gasped, "That's our mother." Daniel shouted, "No, she left us. She didn't die here." Emily shook her head slowly, tears brimming. "She didn't leave, Daniel. She was taken." The lantern dimmed, casting them in suffocating darkness. Daniel collapsed into sobs, whispering, "Then we're already doomed." Emily held him, whispering fiercely, "No, we fight. We don't end like them." The ghost girl appeared in corner, her pale face dripping with black tears. Daniel screamed, "Stay away!" Emily held him close, whispering, "She's trying to tell us." Her voice cracked, doubt gnawing at her. The ghost girl raised a trembling hand, pointing at the diary. Emily whispered, "She wants us to finish it." Daniel shook violently, shouting, "Don't! It's a trick!" The pages flapped furiously, words glowing faintly. Emily whispered, "This is how she was bound. Maybe it's how we free her." Daniel shook his head, tears falling. "Or how it kills us faster." The ghost girl's hollow eyes widened, her mouth opening in a silent scream as the attic shook violently. Emily shouted, "We have to choose now." Emily pressed the diary to her chest. "If this is the only way, we do it together." Daniel cried, "I'm scared." Emily whispered, "So am I, but we're not alone." The ghost girl trembled, flickering between form and shadow. The attic beams cracked loudly, raining dust. Daniel sobbed, "She doesn't want us free." Emily shouted, "Then we fight for her too." She tore a page from the diary, black smoke pouring out. The ghost girl let out a shriek, walls shaking violently. Daniel screamed, "It's killing her!" Emily's voice broke. "No, it's releasing her." Her hand burned as ink seared her skin. Daniel clutched her arm tightly, whispering, "Please, don't leave me too." Emily whispered back, "Never." The attic roared like a storm as the diary burned in Emily's trembling hands. Daniel cried, "It's tearing the house apart." The beams shook violently, dust raining down like snow. Emily shouted, "We end it tonight." Her eyes glistened with tears. The ghost girl's figure split into fragments, flickering between innocence and monstrous shadow. Daniel whimpered, "She doesn't want to leave." Emily stepped forward, voice breaking. She was never given a choice. A violent gust threw them against the wall. Emily shielded Daniel with her body, whispering, "Hold on, we fight back now." The ghost's scream pierced their ears like broken glass, shaking the air itself. Daniel gasped, "We can't win." His voice cracked into a sob. Emily grabbed his shoulders, whispering fiercely, "We don't get to lose." Her words cut through the roar. The diary's smoke swirled upward, forming claws reaching for them. Emily screamed, "It's feeding off our fear." She held the diary high as flames consumed more pages. The ghost girl shrieked, her form flickering violently. Daniel cried, "It's killing her." Emily whispered, "Or freeing her soul." The attic windows shattered, icy wind slashing across their skin. Daniel collapsed into Emily's arms, whispering, "Don't let it take me." She held him tighter, whispering, "Never, not while I'm breathing." Emily fell to her knees, clutching the diary as the flames dimmed. "It wants me to stop," she whispered. Daniel cried, "Then stop." His voice cracked. Emily shook her head, whispering, "If I stop, it wins." Her resolve hardened, despite her trembling hands. The ghost girl lunged forward, her hollow eyes blazing with hate. Daniel screamed, "She's coming." Emily raised the diary, shouting, "You're not my enemy." The ghost froze, twitching as if torn between rage and grief. The black ink on the pages crawled across Emily's arms, searing into her skin. She gritted her teeth, whispering, "I'll carry it if I have to." Daniel clutched Emily's arm, screaming, "It's killing you." Emily hissed, "No, it's binding me." She winced as black symbols etched across her skin, glowing faintly. The ghost girl screamed, shaking the attic violently. Emily whispered, "She's trapped by this curse. If I take it, she goes free." Daniel shouted, "Then you'll be trapped instead." Emily pressed her forehead to his, whispering, "I can handle it. You can't." The floor cracked, a void opening beneath them. Daniel cried, "It's pulling us in." Emily dragged him back, whispering, "Run when I tell you." The attic exploded with light as Emily ripped the final pages from the diary, flames engulfing them. She screamed, "Be free!" The ghost girl shrieked one last time before her body dissolved into mist. Daniel cried, "She's gone." Emily collapsed, smoke rising from her scorched arms. He held her tightly, sobbing, "Don't leave me too." Emily whispered weakly, "I'm still here, but it's inside me now." The shadow receded into her veins, her eyes darkening briefly. Daniel gasped, "What happened?" Emily whispered. I bound it to me. It can't hurt you anymore. Her voice cracked, barely audible. Daniel shook his head, crying harder. You saved me, but you're cursed. Emily forced a faint smile, whispering, At least you're alive. The attic fell silent, the storm outside fading into a low rumble. Daniel clung to Emily, whispering, It's over, right? His eyes pleaded for reassurance. Emily forced a weak nod, though her veins still glowed faintly with black threads. Her breathing came shallow, each word trembling. She's free now, Daniel whispered. But you're not. His tears stained her hoodie as he pressed his face against her. Emily looked past him, staring at the empty space where the ghost dissolved. For a fleeting moment, the air felt lighter, almost peaceful. Emily whispered, At least she's gone. But inside, the shadows stirred like a beast caged within her veins, waiting for its turn. They staggered down the staircase, each step echoing. Daniel whispered, We should leave this place forever. Emily's lips quivered as she said, The house won't let us forget. Her eyes darkened, a flash of black in her pupils. Daniel shivered, pulling her hand. We'll burn it down. Emily shook her head faintly. It's not the house anymore. It's me. Her words fell heavy, chilling Daniel's bones. He muttered, Don't say that. The air downstairs felt emptier, the shadows still lingering but quieter, as though bowing to her now. Emily forced a bitter smile, whispering, They know who I am now. Daniel stopped midway, whispering, You don't look like you anymore. His voice cracked as his eyes lingered on her veins. Emily forced a laugh that died quickly. Maybe I never did. She clenched her fists, fighting the dark pulse inside. The living room flickered with light from broken windows. Daniel whispered, It's still in you. Emily closed her eyes, whispering, Yes, but it can't touch you now. Daniel muttered, What if it wants you forever? Emily's voice hardened. Then it chose wrong. I won't break. But even as she spoke, her body shook, the black veins pulsing angrily against her pale skin. Daniel whispered, Please, don't leave me. Emily knelt in front of him, cupping his face with trembling hands. I'm still here, she whispered. But if I change, you run. Promise me. Daniel shook his head violently, crying, No, I won't. Her eyes filled with tears as the black veins pulsed brighter. Emily whispered, You have to survive. That's why she let go. Daniel sobbed harder, clutching her arms. I can't do this without you. Emily forced a smile through her pain. You can. You're stronger than you think. Her words cracked, carrying both love and fear, echoing in the hollow house. The house grew silent, the storm gone, yet an eerie calm filled the air. Daniel whispered, It's over now. Emily glanced at the doorway, whispering, No, it never ends. Her eyes flickered black before returning to brown. They stepped outside, the dawn breaking with faint orange light. Daniel whispered, We survived. Emily's lips curved faintly, but her voice was heavy. Survival isn't the same as freedom. The shadow pulsed faintly beneath her skin. As they walked down the path, the house stood behind them, quiet but watchful. Emily whispered under her breath, She wasn't the last. The words lingered in air like a curse, leaving Daniel shivering though the sun rose.